My reason for going to the trip mainly to get away from the stresses of my life. School was starting to take a really big toll on me.
Affordability, accessibility, it was spring break, we weren't focusing on homework, so we really did have the time to just go on this trip and experience it.
From being on social media and listening to political news that takes such a toll on our everyday lives, even though we don't realize it, it's just like every single day a buildup of all the problems of the world. I deserved a break from that.
I'd never been to Moab, so I thought it was a really cool opportunity to take advantage of.
It was very empowering to be out in the wilderness with other self-identified women, especially on International Women's Day. It was really nice to see everything from the drivers to the cooks, just being women. The outdoors was never a place that I went to just with other women. It was always like my dad, and he would build like the fire. Like the roles that everyone took on the trip were different from traditional camping, especially since as a person of color we already don't go camping that much. It's just not something that we do. And I learned so much about hiking and how to follow a path, and that was so interesting to be able to know that and have the ability to go and do that by myself now.
Another reason for coming on this trip, being people of color in nature, which has been a topic that we have widely discussed while we went down. And I realized that I myself, being given the opportunity to go to this space, I was privileged in my own sense, because that's something that many people haven't even been able to do. It kind of brings in the conversation and the thought that just people in general, we have many connections to nature, yet being in these spaces feels like a whole privilege to a majority of us. And just realizing why it is like that, why we aren't seeing more faces like ours, people that look like us in spaces of the outdoors, which is relatively new to the table. And it also brings into the conversation about belonging and belonging to this land, belonging to our home, because this land is ours to call home to. And I realized that it really does become a reason for not coming on this trip, but also realizing what it means to be in my identities and how I can use them to benefit others, and realizing that it starts with me.
I remember I was watching a video once of a comedian. He is a black man, and he was talking about how camping is actually something that black women and men did not do, because they said that that's what they've been escaping for so many years. And I feel like that was relatable. Like, my parents grew up with using just all natural resources for everything, so that was my parents' lives. So it's kind of interesting to go on a camping trip like that.
How has it affected or enhanced my reasoning? I really wanted to take the opportunity to go on this trip to check in with myself. I realized that being in school the whole time, having to run on to-do lists and meetings and all of that, I wasn't giving myself the self-care that I deserved. So I really had to focus on myself in school and really being present, which was very important for me to catch up on, because that's something that many of us tend to lack since we're so overwhelmed, and we always need that validation of getting things done to feel like we've accomplished things. But just being able to check in and meet new people as well has really been an awesome opportunity.